The Sportscast, December 14th, 2020 AD. If you haven't yet, please subscribe in all our channels, YouTube, Periscope, and Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. A lot of Spotify listeners are out there because they're all Joe Rogan fans. So if you're on Spotify, you can search for The Sportscast. Subscribe to us with the addition of the Joe Rogan podcast on Spotify. And if you're on Spotify or on iTunes or on Apple Podcasts, please leave a rating and a review so people could take notice of Joe Toscano. And also, we are on live digital radio. So if you're a radio type of person, download the Sportscast app on the Apple App Store. Android users, you will not have the app ever. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe one day we will. And, of course, visit us on the sportscast.net, the hottest website in sports. And this episode is brought to you by InstaBible, app for the iPhone. Anyways, last night, Bills destroyed the Steelers. Steelers have lost 2 weeks in a row. The Steeler fans say, okay, because we have a short schedule, we're playing 4 games in 12 days, whatever mathematics they tell you. Anyways, Joe, all the way from Allegheny County, welcome back to the Sportscast.
Great being on again. I'm one of those fans that get depressed after my team loses, so I'm not happy. I'm very sad today.
But not depressed enough for you not coming to the Sportscast. You came anyways.
I'll soldier through. I'll tough my way out of this.
So last night, the Bills has a good quarterback named Josh Allen. Everyone was praising the Bills last night. They were saying the front office is great. Josh Allen was great. Like the stadium, which is not that great, it was great. Joe, what happened? I mean, was it something that, hey, the Bills are that good, or the Steelers are just that tired because they played a couple games in a short period of time?
There's a lot of factors. The Bills are legit. The Bills are good. They've been good all year. Josh Allen is playing amazing. Stephon Diggs has transformed that offense. And they're right. The GM is smart. The coach is smart. The offensive coordinator is smart. I assume the defensive coordinator is smart too. They're smart. They made adjustments. And the Steelers are just hurt and tired, but mostly hurt. They're dealing with way too many injuries, and Ben is hurt too. He won't say it, but Ben is hurt too. And he can't put the team on his back anymore because he just has issues of his own that he's trying to play through, and he's doing the best he can.
Now it is week 14. Can they be ready enough for the playoffs, Joe? That's where it really counts.
Well, they basically lost out on the chance for the number 1 seed in that first round bye, which really stinks. So now they got to concentrate on getting ready for the playoffs. And, they really can't because the Browns are right on their tail. So it's not like they can take it easy. The Steelers have to keep winning to win the AFC North. So that's not even a guarantee yet. So there's nothing definite with the Steelers right now. They could lose the next 3 games for all we know. That's how bad things are.
Joe, you're sounding a little bit too negative.
Just like most Steeler fans right now.
Hey,
it's gloom and doom.
You do got 2 guys on the bench called Mason Rudolph and the Duck.
Okay, now I'm really depressed.
Yeah. Anyways, you could have got Jalen Hurts because he won last night.
That's funny. I'm surprised more people haven't said that. Because back in draft time, they were saying, no, the Steelers should draft Jalen Hurts, and we laughed. And now look at Jalen Hurts.
And he's winning, even though it's 1-0, but he's winning. But anyways, are you ready to recap NFL Sunday Week 14?
Let's do this.
Cowboys and Bengals. A man named Andy Dalton, yes, he's redheaded, really rare, put an exclamation point on his return to Cincinnati. Yes, this was a homecoming game, and he won in Cincinnati. Joe, was this a comeback revenge game for Andy Dalton?
Total revenge game. Andy Dalton is, came back to Cincinnati. And the cool thing about Andy Dalton is he does a lot of charitable work in the Cincinnati area. So it's really cool for him to come back. Nice of them to win. But, yeah, this is totally the Andy Dalton revenge.
And the Cincinnati Stadium is Paul Brown Stadium. There's a lot of stadiums that are not branded, like Buffalo, they're going to be branded soon. but there's stadiums in Cincinnati. Hey, I would love to sell the naming rights because you have an extra $1 million in your stash.
The Bengals are a mess. The Bengals are I don't want to say they're a joke of a franchise, but they're very cheap and they don't do things like other teams. So the Bengals they're sort of an NFL franchise, but they're not run very well, so it doesn't surprise me.
We'll see what happens with Joe Burrow. Maybe he'll bring some hope in the Bengals franchise. Let's go into Miami. The Chiefs defeated the Dolphins 33-27. Joe probably saw this sack on Twitter at least, but Mahomes was sacked. The Dolphins were bringing some hope that they could possibly win this game. I was calling it like the Miami Miracle 2, but it wasn't enough. The Chiefs win again in Miami because they won it in the Super Bowl a couple months ago. They win again in December, and they knew the Steelers were going to lose against the Bills, so that they had to capitalize on this.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are just, I think they're the clear number one team in the NFL. Even when they, the Dolphins gave them a game, and they just decided, let's just rattle off 28 points in a row or whatever they did. They just can turn on the offense when they want, and yeah, it was close. I mean, credit to the Dolphins, but I mean, the Chiefs are just too good.
Dolphins are still in the playoff hunt, but Joe, even though they lost, they still look good, and I still think they'll make the playoffs.
They are holding on to the 7th spot right now, so they got to be real happy that they changed those rules to include an extra team, because right now they're holding on to that last spot, so good for the Dolphins.
Let's go into the Meadowlands. The Giants had a surprisingly win last week against Seattle, but the Cardinals came in and they had to do some business. Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, and a potent offense, good on paper, defeated the Giants 26-7. Of course, Daniel Jones came back. Not enough. The Giants, are they back where they used to be a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it was a mistake bringing back Daniel Jones. I don't think he was totally healthy. And the Cardinals, you get tired of losing, and eventually you pull out a win. So good for the Cardinals. Giants, they pick a bad time to be bad, considering they're still in contention for the NFC East. But yeah, good on the Cardinals.
Now, if you were a Giants coach, would you start Colt McCoy instead?
I really don't know why. It's one of those things when a player is medically cleared. If Daniel Jones was medically cleared, then you have to play him because you have to assume that he's good enough to play. So. I mean, I would have made that decision. I would have played Daniel Jones, but it's clear that he wasn't totally healthy. So, not good.
I would have started Colt McCoy because if he won last week, I'll still give him the ball.
Ride him out, yeah.
Ride him out and see where he goes. Once he loses, switch back to Daniel Jones. But I'm just saying, I'm not a coach. I don't get paid for this much. Buccaneers versus the Vikings. Buccaneers are back 26-14. Tom Brady posted a video after the game saying, "The boys are back. It's great to win in December. It does feel a very Patriot-like team." Joe, what are your thoughts?
Big bounce back game for the Bucs. They had some time off, and they were able to refresh. So good for them. I mean, not good for the Vikings. You thought that the Vikings were making going to make a run this year, but hey, the Buccaneers they got it together in almost all facets of the game. They could pass, they could run, their defense was good. So maybe they got things back on track. Scotty
Miller had 48 yards. Rob Gronkowski had 2 yards, just 2 yards, and of course Ronald Jones had a 1-yard touchdown, and Ryan Suckup kicked the field goals of 18 and 46 yards. So the Buccaneers are looking good. Brady's all about December. We'll see where they go. I mean, I'm still iffy about them, but they got the weapons and they got the paper. Broncos defeated the Panthers 32-27. The Broncos needed this win. Drew Lock had a great performance in this game. Touchdown passes of 49 yards to Hamler. And also threw scoring strikes to Nick Vannett and Tim Patrick. Easy win. Carolina not that good, but the Broncos needed some good recovery win here.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of – the Broncos are barely in the playoff race, but It's a win that Drew Lock and John Elway needed to show, hey, maybe Drew Lock is the guy for next year, and that John Elway didn't screw up yet another quarterback evaluation.
I'm hoping so. I think it kind of stinks when you get a quarterback recently but doesn't pan out, and then you got to draft a new one and start the whole process. But I am a Drew Lock believer, no matter what Ryan Krista says, our other sportscast contributor. The Tennessee Titans defeated the Jaguars 31-20. A man named Derrick Henry had another 200-yard day. Joe, he's getting into beast mode already.
I believe this is the fourth time he's run for over 200 yards and scored 2 touchdowns in a game, which is, I believe, the most in NFL history. So that is amazing. The Titans are very intriguing. They could go real far in the playoffs, or they could be one and done. They have a very good offense, and their defense is a little tricky. But right now, they're the number 4 seed. That's very impressive. And if I'm an AFC team, I don't want to play them in the playoffs. I don't want to go against Derrick Henry.
But the Steelers have beaten them in Tennessee before.
Barely.
True.
That was not an easy game, and I would be. I don't think the Steelers can beat anybody right now in the playoffs, but still, that would be a very interesting game in the playoffs if those two got together again.
The Jaguars bench quarterback Mike Glennon, following his 4th turnover in 6 quarters, and turned to Gardner Minshew. Yes, you remember that name. For the first time since Week 7, Minshew missed several weeks with a right thumb injury, but even after being deemed fully healthy, he remained on the bench behind Glennon. What do you think about that quarterback situation? Do you think they're going to aim for a quarterback in the draft?
Yeah, they're tanking. I mean, Minshew gives them a better chance to win. They don't want to win, so they're going to bench Minshew. So it's good for them. This season is they're not going anywhere this season, so why not play for next year and get a good draft pick?
Even with a few more seeds, they cannot make it. Colts versus Raiders. After this game, there was a coach fired, but the Colts won. Frank Wright, he had had a great game. The Colts are looking good, aren't they?
Colts are looking good. I think they're a legit, contender for best AFC team. But it's more about the Raiders. It seems like they do this every year, that they collapse. They just start losing a bunch of games at the end of the year. It's not good. I mean, I think Gruden's done some good things, but at the same time, he's also done some bad things. And you can't have a collapse every single year. It's not good.
And they fired one of the coordinators, Paul Guenther, defensive coordinator. Were you surprised about that?
Yeah, that'll fix everything. Gotta blame somebody, I guess.
Last week was Greg Williams. This week is Paul Guenther. Who's next? Which defensive coordinator is next? It feels like there's once a week. But hey, Black Monday is coming up, by the way, at the end of the month. College football, there's some coaches being fired as well. So we'll see. Well, I guess the obvious one is Adam Gase.
Oh, he'll be gone. I mean, good for the Jets. I mean, they're openly trying to tank. So Gase will stick around, but I mean, he's get him out of there. I've wanted him out of there for months. And
another reason why why they should fire Gase. Seahawks defeated the Jets 40-3. Another good game by the Seahawks, trying to define that NFC West, that challenge. Russell Wilson for 206 yards. Metcalf 61 yards. Lockett 52. But it was an easy walk for them.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets aren't really competition, and the Seahawks really need to get things together because they have not been playing well lately. So good for the Seahawks. We'll see what they do against a real team.
Exactly, and we'll talk about the Rams because I believe they're still first place in the NFC West. The Packers clinched the NFC North Joe, which I'm sure you're not surprised. They defeated the Lions 31-24, second straight NFC North title. Yes, I remember them winning it last year. Huge win. Rodgers 200, almost 300 yards. Lions, I guess they won last week after firing their coach, but they couldn't beat the Packers this time, even though it was like one score line away. So.
It was a close game. I think this shows that Aaron Rodgers is in the conversation for NFL MVP. I think Pat Mahomes is a front runner, but Aaron Rodgers is right in that conversation. He's having that good of a year.
And of course, we'll see how they do in the playoffs. Typically, I don't know, like when it comes to the Packers in the playoffs, I haven't seen them. I mean, I haven't seen them go to the Super Bowl in a while. So one thing's making the playoffs, but one thing's making that deep run.
I don't know. I mean, the NFC is very interesting, but I mean, you got the Saints, the Rams, Seahawks. So I mean, it's very interesting. But I mean, I believe right now they hold that number one spot. So if they get that first week bye, that is going to be huge.
Eagles defeated the Saints 24-21. A man named Jalen Hurts replaced Carson Wentz, and Jalen Hurts is 1-0, a player that the Steelers wish they drafted.
No, they don't, but still. A player that a lot of people said they should have drafted. It looked good. He looked good. I think it just speaks to how important confidence is in a player. I think Jalen Hurts just goes out there. He has confidence in himself, and that just inspires the whole team. And the rest of the team also knows, hey, we got a rookie in here, a guy that's just starting out. We have to be on our best. We have to do our best. And also, they changed the game plan a little bit to emphasize the run, which for some reason they didn't do with Carson Wentz. So, yeah, I mean that was an amazing thing. And then the other thing you got to consider with the Saints is Taysom Hill. He's okay, but is he good enough that you could count on when you're down? I mean, because the Saints were down pretty majorly in this game. He brought them back a little bit, but still not enough. Good
points there. Carson Wentz got dethroned as starting quarterback. Will his nickname be dethroned? Pennsylvania. Do you think he'll be out, or do you think he'll be a good, solid backup for the next couple of years in Philadelphia?
I think what'll happen is Peterson will be gone. When you have a player that you invested so much money in, you're going to play him, and they're going to say, well, it's a lot easier to get rid of the coach than to get rid of the player. So I think next year it will be Wentz. He'll be starting. Hurts will be still the backup. They'll do some packages with him, stuff like that. Kind of like maybe what the Saints do with Taysom Hill, something like that. But I think Wentz will be the guy next year.
Oh, really? You're saying Wentz will be the man next year?
I say Wentz will be the man next year, and they'll have a new coach.
Oh, my gosh. Unless Jalen Hurts has a great December, we got to see what he does. I know he's not a good thrower. He's a good runner, a good rusher.
That's a really good point. What if Jalen Hurts just keeps winning? How can you take him out?
What if he's undefeated? But it could become the scenario where he's like Tim Tebow. And, he won, but he's not the guy.
That's true. That's a real interesting scenario. We'll see what happens there.
I'm a Hurts fan, not because one of my good friends, Justin, is an Alabama fan, but he's pulling for Hurts. But we'll see. Hurts has to throw amazing throws, and he has some weapons. So we'll see how it goes in the city of brotherly love. Chargers, Justin Herbert defeated the Falcons 20-17. The Chargers had a bad few weeks, but they were able to squeeze it out by 3 points. And, of course, the Falcons always lose close ones. Any positivity with this game?
No.
I know. I can't really think of much to talk about it.
It's two teams that just have had really bad years. I wonder if we're seeing the end of Matt Ryan in Atlanta or anywhere. So,
Matt Ryan to the Steelers.
He's up there in age.
Matt Ryan to the Steelers.
Oh, I like that.
For a couple of years,
yes, let's do that.
help out Mason Rudolph a bit. But what do you think about Anthony Lynn in L.A., do you think his days are shortened?
Yeah, he sucks. No, he's terrible with time management. I believe in this game, I think at the end of the first half, they were in field goal range, but for some reason they ran the ball without timeouts, and the time ran out, and they didn't get to score a field goal. This is a very close game. So I mean, he does this every week. Anthony Lynn is just a lousy NFL coach. He's probably a great coordinator or something like that, but he does crap like this all the time, so he needs to go.
Yeah, that has been talked about, of course. Josh McDaniels from the Patriots is rumored to take that position. I think it'll be a great position for him, but we'll see what happens in Los Angeles with a beautiful empty stadium. I wonder how much money they're losing every time they play there.
Oh, it's a beautiful empty stadium when fans are allowed in it too. So you know.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, when you turn on the lights on, I always think, how much is that bill? Anyways, the Washington football team 2-0 these past 2 weeks, defeated the 49ers. A man named Chase Young. You probably saw that clip, sacking some quarterbacks. Won 23-15. This Washington football team is number one, first place in the NFC East, Joe. Last week was the Giants. This week is Washington. Do you think they're the clear favorites?
From what I understand, Alex Smith got hurt or something like that.
Yeah.
So hopefully Alex Smith is okay. I think if they have Alex Smith, I think they could do enough to win games because that Washington defense is that darn good. Holy cow. Chase Young is a beast. He's an absolute beast. He looked amazing this game. I mean, basically, Washington defense almost won this game single-handedly. They were scoring points. Yeah, I mean, if Alex Smith can stay in there, they can just have just enough offense with that awesome defense. Yeah, Washington can win the NFC East.
Alex Smith left the game a little early due to a calf injury, so not too severe. But of course, calf injuries, if you stay playing, I believe so, you could get a more serious injury, like the one that Kevin Durant got. I forgot the something. I'm not a doctor. I know a lot about coronavirus. No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
But with Alex Smith, when you hear leg injury, it's just like, oh my goodness,
that's true.
Of all the horrific things he's had with his leg. I don't know if it was the same leg or what's going on, but hopefully he's okay.
Hopefully he's okay. Good player, of course, and one of the best players, best quarterbacks trying to come back. And Washington still has a shot. I guess the Cowboys have a shot. But let's look at the standings. The Bills are first place. The Dolphins at second. The Patriots are third. They're not eliminated yet. And, of course, the Jets are last. As we know, the Bills are probably going to make the playoffs. But the Dolphins and the Patriots lost on Thursday against the Rams, show. Didn't look good. Do you think this team has some hope to make it?
Huge loss for the Patriots. They're basically 2 games behind, and basically three teams behind a playoff spot. So this is going to be really tough. They basically have to win out and then just hope. So, I mean, if they make the playoffs, yeah, I do like those things on Saturday Night Football with that political guy doing the percentages of the things. I think they said. Oh
yeah. I forgot his name, but he's from MSNBC. Steve Kornacki.
I think they said the Patriots have like a 6% chance or something like that. So yeah, it is not good.
It's crazy. AFC North, the Browns, which the Steelers play next. Soon, not next. Soon. They're second place. The Ravens are in a third, which they play the Browns tonight. AFC North. I personally think they'll win the AFC North, but but do you think the Browns will clinch that second place spot?
Hey, the Browns right now are the 5th spot, 9-3. This is an enormous game with the Ravens. The Ravens are on the outside looking in. They're the number 8 seed right now. It is a absolute must game for the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to win tonight because I think I'm not saying the Browns are not legit. I mean, it's impressive being 9-3, but I think the Ravens are going to give them a lot of trouble. So it's going to be a really good game. I don't know. I still don't know what's going to happen with the Steelers. I mean, right now they look absolutely awful. So I don't, obviously I think the Steelers play Cincinnati next, and that's probably a win, but you never know. So
should be.
It in theory the Steelers should win the AFC North, but if the Browns actually do win tonight, it's going to get real interesting. They would be 10-3 and just one game behind the Steelers, so that would get really interesting in the AFC North.
AFC West, of course, the Chiefs are 12-1. They're the clear favorite. Not AFC champions yet, but they are almost on the path to. The Raiders, they fired their defensive coordinator yesterday. They're second. Broncos 5-8. Don't think they'll make it. Chargers are 4-9. The Raiders, I think they'll eke it out.
It's really close. I mean, they're right now in that number 9 spot. They're basically a game behind the Dolphins. So, I mean, the Raiders need to get it together. If they could get it together, these next 3 games, we'll see. But they better figure something out real soon, because otherwise, if they keep losing, then forget about it.
One team that has it all together in the NFC East is Washington, then the Giants, then the Eagles and Cowboys. Joe, either of these teams can make the playoffs.
Really, it's still up for grabs in the NFC East.
Who needs it more? I mean, which coach needs to win this in order to keep their job?
Well, Peterson, I think, is playing for his job. I think the Washington coach and the Giants coach, I think they're fine. In fact, the Giants coach is being praised for the team rallying around him and for the team doing so well lately. So, the Giants coach is okay. Washington coach is okay. Riverboat Ron is just you gotta love him. Fighting cancer and all that stuff. But Peterson needs a win or for his job.
True, he's on the line. NFC North, I think we can all agree the Packers are going to win it. Don't think another team in that division will make the playoffs unless Joe wants to butt in and say the Vikings are going to make it. I know they will.
Vikings are right there. They're only a game behind.
Okay.
They're the first team out right now in the NFC playoffs. So, I mean, it's very possible. We'll see. I mean, it's basically they're right on the heels of Arizona. That win Arizona had yesterday was huge for them.
Kirk Cousins, Diggs, a lot going on. NFC South, the Saints have clinched that division. The Buccaneers, I think the Buccaneers could win out in December. What do you think?
It's possible if Tampa got everything, they got their house in order. If they got everything, working again, they could win out. But I mean, right now they're the number 6 seed, so I mean they should make the playoffs. But the best they could do is basically the 5 seed, and they're a game behind the Seahawks.
And Tom Brady really wanted to be first because he's used to having home field advantage and everything.
Yeah. But then again, this year home field advantage means nothing.
True. Because the fans. NFC West, the Rams are first, Seahawks second, Cardinals third, the Niners last. Obviously, those top 3 are competing for spots. How do you see these things shuffling out?
I mean, the NFC West can have 3 teams make the playoffs. That's really impressive. And, I mean, the 49ers at 5-8, they're kind of out of it. But, I mean, they're a strong team, too. So, maybe the strongest divisions in football are the NFC West and the AFC North.
Right.
And Rams and Seahawks 9-4. We'll see how that goes. Rams are looking really good. When you have that awesome defense, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey are maybe the 2 of the best at their position. The Rams offense just has to be good enough. They could win a lot of games.
And that is our NFL Week 14 Sunday recap, because there's also one game tonight, which is the Ravens and the Browns, 2 teams that Joe is very familiar with. And Joe did say who might win tonight, but give us a score.
See, this is tough because my 2 favorite teams my three favorite teams in football are the Steelers, whoever plays the Ravens, and whoever plays the Browns. I hate both of those teams so bad. So I hope for maybe a tie or something like that. But no, seriously, I want the Ravens to win so that the Steelers could win the AFC North. And it kills me to say that because I hate them so much. But still, I think the Ravens are going to win because I think they're going to win with their defense. And I think their defense is going to confuse and stop the Browns offense.
Now, tell us the latest for with the Ravens. Has everyone recovered from COVID? Will we see an A team tonight? What have you heard?
I believe so. I believe they're all recovered from that, and I know Lamar Jackson's playing, and I think they'll be fine.
And Joe, I do think they're certainly capable of beating the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, it stinks when there's no fans, especially when the Steelers played the Bills last night in an empty stadium. That was kind of sad. So, and Cleveland, Cleveland finally has a good record, and they don't have any fans in the stands to enjoy it. So that kind of stinks. But still, it's going to be a really good game. Which is rare what you could say about a Monday night football game. Usually they're stinkers, but this is going to be intense, and it's going to mean a lot.
You sold me. I really think I'm going to watch the full game tonight.
Oh, it's going to be good.
I agree. I think it's going to be, I'm going to go with Joe because I want to make things interesting in the NFL. And if the Ravens win it, it'll be interesting. If they don't, not saying Ravens are out, but it's going to be an interesting challenge for them. Anyways, it's tonight, 8:20 p.m. on ESPN, Monday Night Football with no fans in Cleveland, Ohio. And question of the day on your via our Twitter account, what is your favorite Christmas movie? The options are Home Alone, The Santa Claus, Jingle All the Way, or Christmas Vacation. Joe, which one of these is your favorite Christmas movie?
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
I love you. I freaking love you. That is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. I could watch that movie every day till Christmas. 25 Days of Christmas, I watch that. And not everyone agrees with Joe or I. Christmas Vacation is winning at 50%. Second place, Home Alone. Then Jingle All the Way and Tim Allen's Santa Claus.
Did you know that old-time movie in Home Alone is actually not a movie? It's just something they made up. I just found that out not too long ago.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that's not actually an old movie. It's just something they made up.
I had a feeling that was, and I think some guy told me years ago, and I totally forgot. It's well, he's probably lying. But once Joe said it, it all comes together.
There you go.
Circle. No wonder, because I always wondered, what movie was that? And
right.
My mom would have told me, that movie I used to watch as a kid. No, it never happened. Interesting. I have to do an article about that and maybe get ranked high in Google. Anyways, Joe, what is the best way to reach you to figure out either that they should buy a Steelers hat or a Steeler winner hat?
I am on Twitter, Joey Bag of Donuts, V7F. There's going to be a lot of sadness, a lot of sadness. I actually had to take a walk last night and just contemplate life because things were so bad during that game. And also, I had to get away from Chris Collinsworth because I hate that guy's guts, and he really got it on my nerves.
He was trending on Twitter last night. Was he saying anything crazy?
He didn't say anything crazy. A couple weeks ago, he said something like, I can't believe Steelers the female fans are so knowledgeable or something like that. He got in trouble for that. But he didn't say anything.
Oh, that's
stupid.
right. I remember that.
He's just generally annoying. That's Chris Collinsworth.
Interesting. Yeah. Annoying. Interesting. That is, I guess he's not a Steelers fan.
Well, he doesn't. He generally doesn't say things about the Steelers, but last night he was basically fawning all over Josh Allen. He loves Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers. Whenever those guys play and he's on that game, he just nonstop praise for those guys. Dude, get over it.
He becomes a groupie.
Yes.
Anyways, you can reach us at the Sportscast, at the Sportscast1, or on the website, thesportscast.net. I got an announcement. We're having the big college football show hosted by Nick Rossetti this Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Our guest will be Justin Riley, of course, Tyler Turner, Kent Doppel from West Coast CFB, and Gerald Dixon. This is news. If you guys reach to the show, this is news. I haven't announced it on Twitter. You can watch this show at 3 p.m., an hour, maybe 2 hours long, to talk about the college football playoffs, who made it into the top 4, which we kind of know who will be, but of course we'll be discussing it and fleshing it out on an iron board of how it will happen. So that'll be 3 p.m. next week, hosted by Nick Rossetti. So we'll see. All these Alabama folks are saying we're the best team in the world right now, of course, because COVID made you guys the best. Anyways, Joe, it's been a great honor for you being on the Sportscast. We got a few more weeks. We got 2 more weeks. 3 more weeks left. There is a week 18 nuclear week if anything happens with COVID, but I think NFL is going to avoid that like the plague, literally.
Yeah, I mean, if they were going to do it, they were going to do it during that whole Steelers-Ravens fiasco, and they opted not to, so they're not going to do that. But yeah, thanks for having me on. This is my favorite time of the year. I love talking about stuff like this, NFL playoff scenarios. It's my jam.
And talking about Home Alone. So
yes, definitely.
And I bet the cast were, the characters in the show were probably Bears fans. Keep that in mind.
Probably, yeah.
All right, Joe. I got to go eat some lunch, and I'm going to have to pay some bills. And you as well. Have a coleslaw sandwich. I'll see ya. God bless, and let's go NFL.